Hi guys, here's your English teacher, and for the first time I would like to introduce the poem that I gave you, and I would like to draw your attention to a few things that we're going to be studying from first term through fourth term into Abitur. And when you're sitting your Abiturprüfungen, so your final exams, then you should be familiar with some of the things that we start studying today. Okay? I gave you this very brief poem. Langston Hughes lived from 1902 through 1967, and this is probably one of his most famous poems. So this is a poem, and you can see it consists of two units, a first stanza and a second stanza. We call these subunits stanzas, okay? And it reads, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." Now, when I sent you this poem, it was all printed in black. As you can see now, it is quite a colorful affair, isn't it? Yes, and it is a colorful event because I would like to draw your attention to certain things that might strike you as remarkable, or maybe you thought, there's something, I don't know what to call them, but there is something. And if Matu had asked me what you would call it, I wouldn't know what to call these things, and therefore I'm going to help you. So let's have a look. There are certain repetitions, right? Things that repeat or are repeated. Hold fast to dreams. For if dreams, right? And life is, okay? And then we also have a certain pattern at the end of each stanza. We have die and fly, and we have go and snow. So let's go through the things that you might have found and maybe not have been able to name. Here, hold fast to dreams, hold fast to dreams. This is called anaphora. Anaphora is the repetition of the same words either at the beginning of several verses, verse, second stanza, first verse, second verse, third verse, fourth verse. Okay, so here each of these stanzas are opened with the same phrase, the same wording. Hold fast to dreams. Hold fast to dreams. 4 is probably dated English, not as common as it used to be. It is probably rather literary today and not as not so much used in everyday language. No. So when you speak everyday language, colloquial language, informal language, you would probably prefer because or just cause. For is probably literary or has become literary language, poetic language. So these things repeat. And then we also find words that show the same quality of consonants. Dreams, not dry, die, broken-winged bird, or life is a barren field frozen, right? You know this probably from your German classes. This is called alliteration, the repeated occurrence of consonants. Here it is D, B, F. Yeah? Alliteration. I'm going to say something about alliteration in a few minutes because there is a major difference in grammatical usage between the English language and the German language. Okay? Here we have a metaphor. Life is a broken-winged bird. Of course, life is life and not a broken-winged bird. So here, Langston Hughes works with imagery. And it is a kind of comparison, but the comparison is not introduced by using such words as I or like or as. He says life is. And then he says what it is. A broken-winged bird that cannot fly, or it is a barren field frozen with snow. Okay? Why do poets, authors use metaphors? Because metaphors, in a lot of cases, speak a language that is much preciser than blunt words. When he says, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly, you and I can think of a bird that is broken its wing and cannot fly, which is a dramatic event in the life of a bird. It may fall prey to cats or other predators, or it may just starve to death because it can't find anything to eat anymore. Yeah? So life without dreams is like a loss of vital functions. And the capacity for flying is a vital function in a bird's life. The same goes for the metaphor, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Well, we know that fields are fertile in the summer season, at least here and in North America. In the northern hemisphere, the summer, spring, summer, maybe into fall, early fall, are the fertile seasons, and then winter into, let's say, very early spring is the infertile period of the year, or season of the year. It's probably rather a season than a period. It is the season of the year when nothing grows and when there is no harvest. Yeah? So life is a barren field frozen with snow. Okay, there is nothing that grows, no production. Yeah? All right, so here we are with certain fundamental stylistic devices that are all packed into these 8 verses and lines. Let's have a brief look at the language. language, poetry. So, as I said, this is a poem. You know what? I'm going to close this and maybe, yeah, I will. Is that better? Not very much better, is it? No, maybe it's not. No, maybe it is not. Okay, go back here. Yes, I think this may be better than. All right. So the whole thing is a poem. A person who writes poetry is called a poet. And the stanza is this subunit. In German we call it Strophe. And the line is called verse. Okay? And four is here formal language, poetic language, literary language, meaning because. Let's have a look at some of the stylistic devices. Stylistic devices are those devices that authors and poets use in order to create a certain effect. And I gave you an enumeration of a few frequently used stylistic devices: anaphora, metaphor, simile, alliteration, rhyme, etc. are stylistic devices. Let me read them out to you for the pronunciation again. Anaphora, metaphor, simile, alliteration, rhyme, and stylistic devices. All right. A metaphor. A metaphor is a comparison. It is a linguistic image. We also speak of imagery. It uses a picture. It creates a picture in the mind of the reader. And that is what a metaphor is. And it compares something to something else. Yeah? Life is a broken-winged bird. Life is a barren field. All right? It is a comparison that does not use words such as like or as. That is the characteristic feature of a metaphor. It is a comparison without like or as, which uses an image to convey a message or make a point. Life is a broken-winged bird. Life is a barren field. Yeah? A simile is also a comparison, but the typical difference between a metaphor and a simile is that a simile does use such words as, like, and as. So, if we translate the metaphor into a simile, we would have a phrase such as, life is like a broken-winged bird. Life is like a barren field. Okay? And what we did earlier, or what we always have to do, is we have to translate a metaphor into the context of the text. So we always have to ask ourselves, let's go here, let's go back here. If Langston Hughes makes a point of life being a broken-winged bird or life being a barren field, we have to translate that image. We have to translate that into the context of the poem. Yeah? Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die. Okay, let's imagine you live your life, but you lose all your dreams. There is no dream for you to dream anymore. And what would that mean to you? Maybe you take a moment or two to imagine What would my life be like if I didn't have a dream? I mean, you do have a dream because that's why you're at our school studying all the things you are now studying. And you probably also have an aim that you want to achieve and probably a goal that you want to achieve. And you want to make your life different. Maybe you just want to know more than you used to know, or maybe you have professional ambitions or so. So you are at our school with a dream, but what if you didn't have a dream? Let's imagine all dreams were gone. How would you feel? Would you feel your life has a purpose? Would you feel your life is meaningful? And that is exactly what we have to do. We have to use these images here and translate them into the context. The context of this poem is a life that needs dreams as a kind of fuel. All right? I hope I'm not speaking Chinese. I hope I'm making myself clear. Well, if not, you know how to contact me. All right, let's go back. Simile. I want to hurry. I'm keeping you listening for, almost 17 minutes. Too long. Anaphora, the repetition of the same words or phrase at the beginning of two or more verses. Hold fast for dreams. Okay, here I'll give you a teensy bit of, let's say, language material, purpose of life, Lebenssinn. To seek a purpose in life, ein Lebenssinn finden wollen, suchen. To make one's life meaningful, pretty much the same. To have a purpose in life, which means you know what you are living for. When you have a purpose in life, then you know what you're living for. Yeah. Die and fly rhyme. Again, rhyme. US, American English, you also find this spelling variety, R-I-M-E, but it is less frequently used than this one, which is originally British English. Probably it is World English today, but as I said, there is also this variety, but it's less frequently used. Go and snow also rhyme. Alliteration. A broken winged bird alliterates on the consonant B. Dreams die is an example of alliteration. You can also say dreams die, alliterate on D. So, on is the preposition to go along with the verb to alliterate. Yeah? Here again, to alliterate on. And here, please be aware of a trap. In German, you can say something like Alliterationen. Der Text enthält so und so viele Alliterationen. In English, you cannot. In English, there is no plural to the noun alliteration. So, if there is no plural, but you want to express that there is not just one example of alliteration, then you have to take refuge to alternative no, not facts, alternative phrases. Okay? And here I've given you some examples of how you may express that there is not just one instance of alliteration. So, when you want to say something or you want to write probably, der Text enthält mehrere Alliterationen, then one way of expressing that in English would be, we find several examples of alliteration in the text. Or, this would be another sentence you may want to use. Alliteration occurs several times in the text. Alliterationen begegnen uns mehrfach im Text. The stylistic device of alliteration is used several times in the text. Das Stilmittel der Alliteration wird mehrere Male im Text verwendet. So, this is what you can write, and all these sentences are grammatically correct. And please, never ever come up with alliterations or informations that gives me allergic rash, allergischen Ausschlag. Okay, so alliteration, information does not exist in the plural form. Information is mostly Informationen. For further information, für weitere Informationen, please contact blah blah blah. And here the poem uses alliteration 3 times. Okay? So, 22 minutes. Gosh, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. I stop here. Okay? So, you may want to listen to this or you may not. I hope you're happy with this. I hope you understand. I could make myself understood. And if you're happy with it, okay. If you aren't, please contact me, because then I need to improve or I need to express things that I have expressed my way here in a different form and different matter. Okay, so stay safe. Have a beautiful weekend, and we see each other soon in one of the video conferences, okay? And if not in any of the video conferences, well, then you'll get another of these videos. All right? Ciao. Bye-bye.